What's going on, everyone? Your mom's favorite YouTuber, KKS here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 players who I believe have superstar potential and I think have the best chance of becoming superstars in the NFL. I'm leaving out guys like Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson because, I mean, they're the projected number one and two picks. So I wanted to look at a few other players and put the spotlight on them. So before we begin, I'd like you all to, at the end, please like the video if you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more exciting videos like this one. And yeah, comment down below if you agree or if you would love to have one of these players, or if you just disagree and you don't think this player has potential. Um, so yeah, let's get started. First up, number 10, Terrace Marshall Jr. He's the second best receiver coming out of LSU this year. And we saw when he was at his best at LSU last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, 2019, when they won the national championship with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Clyde, and others. And last year he struggled, but I don't blame him. All of LSU struggled. It was a tough year for them, but I still think he has star potential. I believe he's a very similar player to Justin Jefferson. We all saw how Justin Jefferson popped off last year, and he's turning out to be like a superstar. And I think Terrace Marshall Jr. Could go on a similar trajectory as him. And I think I have him mocked to the New Orleans Saints at pick 28. If you guys haven't checked out my mock draft video, by the way, check those out. I'll put the link in the description. But I believe Terrace Marshall Jr. can be a star if he lands in the right situation. So Terrace Marshall Jr. First up, next is Christian Darrisaw. He's my favorite tackle of this draft, and I think he has the potential to be the best. The reason people have Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater ahead is because they think they're the safer prospects. Both of them also opted out this past year after their amazing 2019 seasons. I believe Darrisaw opted out too. I can't remember though. But anyways, I think Darrisaw has the potential to be an all-pro left tackle in the NFL. I don't see Penei Sewell being an all-pro. I see him being, at minimum, a solid starter in the NFL for 10 plus years. And he could be a Pro Bowler as well, but I don't think he's going to be one of the best tackles in the league. But I think Darrisaw has that potential. He's just got to go in the right system, right scheme, be utilized to his strengths, and he could be one of the best tackles in this league pretty soon. Next up, Trey Lance. Um, a lot of people compare his game to Patrick Mahomes. I love Patrick Mahomes coming out of college. If I made this video the year he got drafted, I think it was 2017, then Patrick Mahomes would be number one on this list. But Trey Lance, I don't see the same potential for him. Not to be like the best quarterback in the league, like I saw with Mahomes, but I think he could be a top 10, possibly even top 5 quarterback in the NFL when guys like Brady, Rodgers, and others retire. But I think he has that potential. He's just got to fall in the right system. If he gets drafted by the 49ers, look out because Kyle Shanahan knows how to get the best out of all his offensive players. And if he goes to like New England, for example, same could happen there. You never know. I have my reservations about McDaniels, but Trey Lance is a great player. His combination of his arm, athleticism, how smart he is, and everything could lead him to becoming one of the best players in this league. At 7, Trayvon Moore, safety out of TCU. A lot of people aren't really talking about Moore as much as I'd like them to. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. Um, the need for safeties in the NFL isn't very high, which is why Morig is a mid to late first round pick. But I think he's got the potential to be one of the best safeties in the NFL. I think he's got elite ball skills. I think he's quick. As long as he works on his tackling, I think Trevon Moore could be one of the best safeties in the NFL. And he's got that potential. So as long as he goes in the right system again, I think Moore could be one of the best players from this draft and in time one of the best safeties in the NFL. Then we have Justin Fields. Um, Different people have mixed opinions about Justin Fields, but I'm one of those people who thinks he's one of the best players in this draft. I think he has the highest potential of all the quarterbacks in this draft, even more than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is the safer prospect, of course, by far, but I think Justin Fields has the potential to be a top guy in this league. Again, similar to Trey Lance, his combination of his arm, his athleticism. I believe he's a smart player. He does make some mental mistakes at times, but that doesn't. That's just the way that he plays. It has nothing to do with how smart he is. As long as he works hard, I'm sure he'll improve. If he falls again, like somewhere like San Francisco, I believe he'll be a top five quarterback in the NFL. But otherwise, I mean, as long as he's in a good on a good team, if he gets drafted to like Detroit or something, then who knows what's gonna happen with his career. But I think Justin Fields has the potential to be a top five, even top three quarterback in the NFL if he falls in the right system. Number five, Najee Harris. Big fan of Najee Harris. I was fortunate enough to watch him and watch a couple games of his in high school when he played at Antioch High School. And even then, even though the competition obviously was nothing like it is in college or the NFL, I could see the potential Najee Harris had and why he was. I'm pretty sure he was the number one overall prospect in his year. But I could see that. I mean, his combination of his speed, strength, I don't know, athleticism and everything, gave me the idea that he could be a top five running back in the NFL. People say he needs to work on his elusiveness and he's a bit stiff, which I kind of disagree with, but I can see where they're coming from. He's obviously got a lot of things to work on. I don't think he's going to be this elite player come year one, but I think he has the potential to become a superstar running back, and I think he's going to be a great player in the league. If you're a big fantasy football fan, keep your eyes on Najee Harris. He could be one of the best. He could be one of the biggest steals in your fantasy drafts, both for year-long fantasy drafts and for dynasty drafts. So, Najee Harris, great player. Next, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, or Jock, linebacker from Notre Dame. I love Jock. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. Um, I don't remember what rating I gave him on my big board. I remember he was top 20 or something. Um, but I believe he could be the best linebacker in this draft, even better than Micah Parsons. I mean, Jock is the kind of linebackers that teams are looking for nowadays. Teams want smaller, lighter, but quicker, great cover guys who can go from one end of the field to the other. Um, and Jock is that guy. I mean, very talented player, and in the right system, he could be one of the best linebackers in this league. I think he's a very similar player to that of a Darius Leonard, Fred Warner. I believe the two best linebackers in the league. And remember the name Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, even though it's long. At least remember Jock because he's going to be a great player. At number three, I have Jamar Chase. Now, the other guys, I tried getting like players who look like they won't be taken in the top 10. But I mean, Jamar Chase was just way too talented to leave off this list. I mean, he's one of the best receivers I've seen in a while. Um, I mean, he does everything you'd want a wide receiver to do. He's got he's that deep. He can be that deep aerial threat in your offense. He could go catch those 50-50 balls. He's got an amazing catch radius, and he has the athleticism. He's got NFL size. Again, just everything you want. Great hands. Um, Much like all LSU wide receivers, such as Jarvis Landry, Odell, Justin Jefferson. LSU's wide receiver I don't know what to say. I mean, just an um, amazing college who brings out elite wide receivers every year almost, feels like. Um, But yeah, I have Jamar Chase going to the Bengals. I think as much as everyone wants it to be Sewell, the Bengals can always get a great tackle in the second round. This tackle class is deep, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity where you can have the number one quarterback and number one wide receiver of a team that won a national championship play together in the NFL. And I think Burrow is going to push hard for the Bengals to draft Chase, and I think they will. And Burrow and Chase have the potential to be one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos we've ever seen. I truly believe that. And you never know what's going to happen, but I think Jamar Chase is going to be a superstar in the NFL. Next, J.C. Horn. I love this dude. Joe Horn's son, the former wide receiver. I mean, J.C. Horn is one of the best man corners I've ever seen. Probably the best man corner I've ever seen since Jalen Ramsey came out. And I mean, this dude's a beast. He does struggle in zone coverage, but I mean, as long as he falls into the right system that utilizes him to his strengths, I think J.C. Horn could be one of the best corners in this league. I think we call guys like Darrell Revis Island. J.C. Horn is going to be that type of player. We could be calling him Horn Island. Um, is an interesting name, but I mean the name could be different. But J.C. Horn is going to be that type of a player. You could put him on an island. There's no chance the receiver is going to make a catch on him. That's what I think he's going to turn into. So remember the name J.C. Horn. He's going to be a beast. And before we get to number one, I just want to go through some honorable mentions. These three guys here, Pat Freiermuth on the left, tight end from Penn State. I still have a lot of faith in him. A lot of people thought he was the number one tight end in college football going into the 2020 season. That's until Kyle Pitts came up and tore the scene. But I think Pat Freiermuth is still a great player. His stock obviously took a hit because Pitts overshadowed him, and also Penn State struggled in general. But I still think a team's going to be very fortunate to get a guy like Pat in the second round, or maybe they reach for him in the first round. Who knows? But I think Pat's going to be a great player in the NFL and with superstar potential. Honestly, there's a reason people had him as the number one tight end before Pitts, but I think he's still got that potential. Next up, top right, Creed Humphrey, center from Oklahoma. He's the best center in the draft. I think everybody can agree on that. I think he has the potential to be a star offensive lineman in the NFL as well. A lot of people don't like to talk about linemen. I guess they're not the cool, flashy types of players, but Creed Humphrey is I think going to be one of the best centers in the league. And again, a team's going to be very fortunate to get him in the second round. And lastly, bottom right, Dwayne Eskridge. I believe he's kind of like a Tyreek Hill type of player. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a Tyreek Hill in the NFL, although he could be, but I think Dwayne Eskridge is a player that's falling under the radar. He's going as around a third or fourth round pick, but I see him as having a potential to be a star wide receiver in the NFL. A lot of people think he's a bit too old or he's a bit too short. But I mean, Tyreek Hill was short, wasn't he? And he became a star. And age, I don't really care, honestly, of draft prospects. So yeah, Dwayne Eskridge, along with Creed Humphrey and Pat Freiermuth, honorable mentions. One more I want to add, Jalen Waddle. The only reason he's not on here is because I'm not sure about how his injury is going to affect him. But I mean, he's one of the most amazing players I've ever watched. He gives me that wow factor, and honestly, he's one of the most athletic, elusive players I've ever seen. Probably even more so than a Tavon Austin. But again, Jalen Waddle, he's that Tyreek Hill type of player. But I didn't add him here because he's also a top 10 pick. But um, it is what it is. But next, the number one player who I think will be a superstar in the NFL is none other than Kyle Pitts. A lot of people think he's a top 10 pick, but there's a possibility he falls. If the Falcons don't take Kyle Pitts at 4, the next team that I could see that could take him are the Carolina Panthers. And if they don't take him, then the next team I see taking him is the Eagles at 12. And even then, they already have Goddard and Ertz. We never know. But I believe Kyle Pitts is the best player in this draft. I said that in my mock draft video. Kyle Pitts, just the combination of strength, speed, his hands are insane. He'll make those catches in traffic. He'll do everything you want a tight end to do, except block as of now. But it's not because he doesn't have the willingness to block. I mentioned that before as well. But it's because the Florida system didn't allow him to, it didn't make his job easy. And I think if once he learns to be an adequate blocker in the NFL, I think when he's in his prime, that's the time when Kelsey's probably going to be either in the twilight of his career or retired. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be battling George Kittle to be the best tight end of the league. I mean, Kyle Pitts is the best tight end prospect I've ever seen. Um, I think he has the potential to be the best tight end in NFL history. He has that potential. I'm not saying he's going to be the best tight end in NFL history, but I'm saying he has that potential. And if he works hard and just things go well for him in his career, he gets lucky, then I think he could be the best tight end in NFL history. That's how much I like him. But yeah, that's it. Kyle Pitts at one. Thank you all for watching. Again, as I mentioned, if you liked the video, please, if you enjoyed the video, please like the video is what I'm trying to say. And also subscribe to make sure you don't miss any more videos of mine in the future. And yeah, comment down below if you agree with any of these, if you disagree. And also comment down below which of these players you'd want your team to draft. And yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.